Let's see what happens here. Well, we're live, but usually I wait a little bit before we really get into it because it takes a little while. Do you have your Insta open?
Insta? I can.
Because you have to click go live there as well if you use StreamYard, and you have to copy the key in.
Oh, yeah. I put that in already.
Awesome.
Yeah. I
Now we're
was
live.
Andreas wants to have my brand tarnished and my
No,
trust from my audience down.
this is a bonus, and like I said, it's in the middle of the day, and we'll do 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we should probably explain to people who don't tune into this live and see the recording afterwards. So, Ice, I met you back in October and you were looking for more mentors. And since then, I've been mentoring you every week for here and there. And I've seen you do an exponential growth ever since. And then your idea and my idea was a lot of the things we discuss are probably things others could benefit from also learning. So we said, and also the other thing we said was we haven't really seen anyone that actually goes live in a mentorship or even records it and actually put it out there. So we said, okay, let's try that and see if anyone else can learn something from it. We're probably not the best time in the day. It's in the middle of the day for a lot of people. But did I miss anything of the intro?
No, that was a great intro.
So I'm going to start by making you uncomfortable, if that's okay.
That's what you always do. Yeah. I like
That's
the
the
Zoom.
thing.
I like the lives where it's like they're not fly on the wall because they'll get to comment too, but just as if you're actually our mentorship sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So usually I do provoke you with something. So let's go for it, right? So I'm going to
Mhm.
ask you or say this quote I saw this morning. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves without running away.
Where'd you hear that quote?
It's I don't know the person, Leland Val van de Waal.
That's so interesting because yesterday I was consuming Cody Sanchez, and she said the same thing, and I wrote that down.
And that was okay, but someone else got quoted here.
Yeah, I know.
What's your thought on it?
It's true. Like, can you repeat it again so I can give it more?
The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves without running away. And I also wanted to add, you have to have the desire to change as well.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
got
also
some people joining live, by the way. We got, I can't pronounce all of them. Tommy
how do you
connects.
see these because
Miss,
I don't see them.
it's you have to go to Instagram and look.
Oh,
We got a Brian. Oh, Brian. Oh, Chris's husband, I assume. Sean Baxter, trendy. Oh, I can't even read. I need glasses. Okay, let's not get into I'm old topics.
yeah, yeah.
But they're joining. So here's the thing, guys. I'm joining. So when you and I, when we use StreamYard and we're both in a live, we get two separate chats going depending on if they join your stream or my stream.
Okay.
Okay, but now I want to hear your thoughts on the quote.
My first thought when I heard it was that it's also true to hear the truths and be okay to be uncomfortable. Was Cody Sanchez's follow-up comment to it. It's like if you can accept that change or accept those truths and decide if you want to really make change about it and take action, or like you're okay to sit in discomfort because like not you can't always be comfortable, and like for you to grow you have to be okay in discomfort.
Yeah, and that's true. And you have to get uncomfortable is the key word there, and then not try to hold on and gain control, but instead, like when you and I having sessions and I'm helping you with something, I can see you're just trying to take it all in, but you don't always internalize it right away. So you staying curious and then coming back with questions or making changes between one mentoring session to the next one, that's the key. So the key word here for me is curiosity
Okay.
and willing to suppress the uncomfortable feeling. And most of the things you and I talk about, are you will never get comfortable until you're already done them.
Okay.
And we talked about that many times. Last thing, it's an iterative process. What most people are missing with that quote is just because you know it today, or you're not able to internalize it and take it to heart today, that doesn't, because you might not be ready. It's like you grow and then you plateau. You grow, plateau, grow, plateau. And just because you have heard something before when you were not ready, that doesn't mean it was worthless. It's still worth it, but at a later stage where you can truly internalize it and you have the guts, the courage to take it to heart and do something with it.
Gotcha. I'm internalizing.
Yeah, I know. I like it. You can't just, because if you don't, yeah, I got it. Then that's a different thing.
Mhm.
When people go quiet, that's usually, I wonder what we have talked about. Like in this case, you're like, what did he say that I never internalized that I might use in the future?
Mm-hmm. Or I've been thinking about something that served me well is instead of trying to read 100 books in a year, it's like reading the same book multiple times, or I'm listening to the same podcast multiple times or once a week. So I can like just have that food for thought sit in my brain.
Yeah. What did we want to talk about today, Ice?
Well, on our list is efficiency.
Yeah.
I didn't get a response if you wanted to talk about that. So I have a
Let's
feeling
go for
you have.
efficiency.
Okay.
What's your thoughts?
What's my thoughts? I know I can be more efficient with my time or like deep flow states. I think that's what I want to have more of. Deep work flow, I think is the term.
By the way, someone said, and you probably know this person, Bellern, Bellern. She said, "Tell Ice," or oh, here, tell Ice Donna Bell is watching.
I was gonna say I think that's Donna Bell. Hey.
That's awesome. So the one thing is process and establishing processes. So you can, and you're supposed to establish processes where it's a repeatable pattern or something you will do over and over again. Ice.
Okay.
But it's also mindset. So part of it is the process, part of it is who you do it with, and then the third part of efficiency is how you choose to approach it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for example, one of the things, even so, when at Archilles where I run the company, like we have processes for several things, especially because it allows you to scale up and delegate, which creates an efficiency for you versus an efficiency for the other people you're working with. Thank you, Javier. You're also a rock star, by the way. I saw he commented. Standard operating procedures, SOP for everything. But there is a difference between making other people's effective and scaling up with that versus you scaling up.
Making other people effective. And the first part is more efficient?
No, so in your case, where you're at with true branding and where you're at with Bayani, it's there you were doing a lot of the work in the beginning, and now you have several people around you. So now it's about what are the processes we're going to reuse over and over again. And I can see that you started documenting some of those, for example, the onboarding process and so on. And then you have the other part of it is what's one-off items and what is it that you delegate to others versus that you do.
One-off items? What do you mean by that?
So if something what I see several young entrepreneurs do is, especially if they're really more like an integrator, I don't think you will have this problem, but if you are truly an integrator, what I often see happen is that people, they make a process for everything. And then even if it's just a one-time thing, or they put a lot of effort into thinking or a lot of effort into doing a process without even taking a step back and saying, what's the frequency of this process? Is this a process I will be doing or I will delegate to someone else to do? What is the value to us and or to our customers? And is it even worth making a process and automating that process? Is it cheaper to do what I refer to as hamsters in the wheels, where it's sometimes cheaper just to get a virtual assistant to do manual work compared to actually just compared to automating or establishing a process? So I would say the first thing, whenever you see, first time you as a startup person, Ice, just go hamsters in the wheel, manual to understand it, especially if you as a business owner. And then if it keeps coming back, look at what other areas you're running slow in right now or that are slowing you down, and pick the ones that have the highest value for the least amount of effort. Taking notes?
Mhm.
I can hear that.
I got it. It's my first time using a keyboard, and I didn't buy like one based off the sound, so deal with it. Sorry.
All good. And by the way, this is another efficiency thing. So Ice was the 6 months I've known her, she'd been sitting on her laptop, hunched up on her bed or on the nightstand, like twisting and typing and doing other things. Like, and I told her this was a few weeks ago, like, you're gonna kill your wrist, you're gonna kill your back, you're gonna kill your neck. Take it for someone who's in their 40s who wish they knew what ergonomic workplace is way earlier in their career. So I forced you to go buy, like, don't be stupid sheep. Buy the good stuff, use them. You're going to save your wrist, going to save your neck. And yeah. And now you have a whole nice setup. That's an efficiency thing.
Yeah. Another perk of getting mentored is hand-me-downs. Because I got handed down 2 monitors that Andreas wasn't using, and I feel so professional. I've never had a workspace, actually. Even back in school, I had just my laptop, and the chair was foldable too, like the one I was using. So,
And now you have a proper share. You got big monitors. You have your own laptop monitor. But you're just, so when you say I'm not used to typing on a keyboard, you actually mean I'm not used to typing on my laptop, which is a keyboard technically.
yeah. Very
That's
true.
perfect.
So high
So
for
let's repeat what I said is, process for process sake is not a good thing. So not always, not never. You got to take a step back. And in early on, what I see several startups or early companies fail on is they're so eager to just establish processes, SOPs, like how to operate, instead of just keep failing a few times, do it manually, hamsters in the wheels. It's not always worth automating everything. And once you have learned that, then you build the processes and the procedures for where it has maximum value and or where it's valuable for not only for you guys but for other team members. And I've seen so many times, again, I'm going to say it again, sorry, I've seen so many times where people spend so much time and effort establishing something, and it would have been cheaper just to hire a virtual assistant that manually sits and types in something every time it happens.
Does it just depend too on your stage? Because like I'm still gonna spend how much time training my VA versus the same amount of time setting up the systems to be automated? And is it just
No,
situational?
it
No.
comes with a cost. It depends, and you have to value that every time. It comes with a cost to set up systems, and it comes with a cost to operate them, and it comes with a cost to change them. And you can't think your way through. You're only taking in, if you only take in doing one rev or one iteration, that's one thing. But in your case, your business is changing so fast and you're scaling, and you don't know where you're going, so you can't strategize and think your way through all the systems and all the processes and procedures and people you need today. You have to learn along the way. It's like we're building a car while speeding like 110 miles per hour down the freeway and doing a transmission change in the middle of it. Like that's okay. That's startup life. But if you get stuck and you only think about it and you only plan for it, and then you learn a little bit, and now you have to replan and redo, you will never take action. Then you go into the learner, educator mindset instead of the doer mindset. I have a little bit, and I shouldn't say this. I don't do this at my company, so I should say this because that will sound bad. But it's almost better to fail and have so many people scream like, why don't you, like, how can't you not have a standard procedure for this? That's when you know, like, this have a high value. Now you know it's too ad hoc. Then go build that process. But I want to, so thoughts on this. We can make it super specific. So let's take true branding.
Mm.
When you started that company, and I know because Vesna is a customer, right? And so am I. When we started that, or you started that, everything was ad hoc and everything was interactions. And it was, oh, do this, put the files here, do this. And oh, we changed the system from A to B. And I said, that's okay. Like, just tell us where you want it and what we're doing.
Okay.
Now that you have many more customers, now your time is scarce. Now you have a problem. Now you have to actually, now you have to do something with it where you have to create the procedures. You have to do something so it scales. Now you have more employees. But if I asked you to sit down and define how that would look like in January, you wouldn't have been able to think through it even. Like, it's trial and error and experiment. And once you find the pattern that is a repeatable pattern, then it's process, then it's procedure. By the way, I see we got Lisa joining, Lisa Moore, we got Christy. We got a bunch of names of people that have interesting tags or interesting names on Instagram, so it's harder for me to read out and mention them. And my eyes can't see on the screen their sizes or to see their faces. It's so small, so I won't be able to call out their name. And we got Javier listening in on Facebook as well. So for those of you who joined, hi Christy. For those of you who joined recently, Ice and I had a conversation about, I've been mentoring her. Hey, Lisa, I've been mentoring her for a while, and we wanted to make sure we share with others what we are talking about. This is the first one, so Ice is a little nervous. Normally, no, I'm kidding. Normally, she talks a lot more and way more active and challenging me. Hi, Tommy. So what we realized is that there are others that are around us that are in the early stages of building a company that could benefit from hearing what we are talking about. Oh, hey, Sean. Oh, I see Jada as well.
Oh, I see
Jada. Jada said, here, I'll put up her comment. That's the only one. I can only show the Facebook comments. So thank you. So we said, let's just try it and let's see what happens. Okay. But again, hey, Brenda. I'll see you soon, Brenda, for lunch, by the way. But the whole message here was you can't think your way through it. People tend to procrastinate if they try to build procedures and processes way too early. Ask your early customers for forgiveness and tell them that you're learning. Ask for their grace, and then just promise them that you will be improving over time. And by doing so, you're establishing the process and the procedure right when you need them, and you're not wasting time building them before you even know what to do. And if you just want to survive, use VAs or others, hamsters in the wheels. It sounds bad, but it's like use hamsters in the wheels to try to get things done quicker, earlier. Ice, can I share one more efficiency thing that you got really good at?
I don't know if I had a real choice there. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I asked Ice, and I don't know if you actually do this. I might call you out. I have to bring in a Post-it. I have a Post-it on my screen that says, my minutes matter. And I have another one that says this. Oh,
Mm-mm.
I
I
got to go. Yeah, read it, Ice.
I got to go in 10 minutes, and this is what want to achieve, and this is
This
what
is
I want to achieve?
this is what I want to achieve.
I want to achieve.
So I have those on my screen, and every single time someone calls and they want me to do something or help them with something, I usually say, I only got 10 minutes, but let me help you. And that's usually okay. What ends up happening then is that the person will often cut away all the tangents. They will
Mm.
cut away all the social. They usually say, "Are you good, by the way? So everything in life?" And the other person, like, "Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Good. Okay. Boom. Let's get to it." And then after 10 minutes, you say, "I really got to go now. Did you get the value or did you get the answer you were looking for?" And by doing that, you're not being rude, but what you are doing is setting expectations of how much time you can give someone. And it will make the other person still feel like they felt heard and understood, and you were providing value to them, even if it was shortened down significantly. So, and the other part of that, why I have my minutes matter, I get pulled in a lot of different direction. And by being able I gotta just read out what Jada said as well. She really liked the last statement about making sure that you're effective with time and you're still giving them value. And then she said she told her mother this yesterday, which probably indicates her brilliance and why it resonates. But my point was that you will get this as an entrepreneur, Ice, and we have talked about this. You get distracted with a lot of things, and will have a lot of people who come at you and want you to do different things. And your minutes matters. It's not your hours, it's your minutes that matters. It's
Why?
not your days, it's your
Why?
minutes. Because if you think about you giving people too many of your minutes in an hour, and you have someone that really wants your attention and wants you to do something, and then that happens 5-10 times in a day, you will have lost half a day. And not only will you have lost it, will have drained all your energy that you could use to build your company and produce a better company. Instead, you have been putting that energy into someone else. So my ultimate productivity hack is really just no. No is a full sentence. Ice, can you help me with this? Ice, wouldn't it be nice? Ice, come fix this. Or a family member asking you to do something like, hey, can you come pick up this? Or can you come for this? No, I can't. So learning to say no is the ultimate efficiency hack. Or whenever someone asks you to do something, is this furthering my goals or furthering their goals? It doesn't mean you can't spend the time helping other people, but you got to be very cognizant of what you say yes to. It's not what you say yes to that makes you successful. It's what you say no to. Okay, now I'm going to let you talk for a while. That was a long rant for me.
No, it's good.
Do I have opinions about this? Maybe.
I think it's interesting. We never talk about. I think we've been talking about so much mindset stuff lately. I know this ties into mindset, but this feels more like practical things. My first thought is that it's interesting because when I first started my businesses, I didn't even think about processes. Like I didn't really know that they were needed. So I was just taking action, going in blind. And it makes me think that I would probably want an integrator partner who prioritizes these things so I don't have to think about it. And they're like
But
the
you have to learn it.
I know. I'm learning it.
So let me so sorry for going in that direction. We had a conversation the other day and you said, "Oh, I'm not an integrator. I will never be an integrator." And I just like, no, stop. As an exceptional visionary, you need to become the best freaking integrator you can be. because otherwise you can't build the process and the procedure that you then delegate to the actual integrator. Because an integrator will not be able to, in many cases, build the process and the procedure. They need a visionary to do that, and that's you, Ice. So you have to. I would rephrase that you're not an exceptional integrator yet.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But doesn't mean that's your personality and that's what you enjoy. The best visionaries can be an integrator for 3 months, and then they are so drained of energy that they have to find someone else to delegate to.
I hope that's me in 3 months. No, I'm just kidding.
You really don't want your holding
No,
on.
I've actually, it's been okay for me. And I was just telling, or maybe I didn't tell anyone, and I had the realization that my major cognitive science was so interdisciplinary. It was like psych, sociology, neurobiology, computer science, philosophy, like random stuff. But I did not care to code. But because I was forced to like learn how to do it, I think that's really what helped me most as an entrepreneur, is taking from so many different niches and like also executing in things I don't really care for, because I know it ties into my ability to grow and learn in the other ways. Not sure how clear that was, but
Say it again. Shorten it up. Say it again. If you say yourself is, I'm not sure how clear that was. You were second guessing if I understood it.
I agree that it's important to do things against how you feel. Logically, it makes sense to learn how to integrate. Emotionally, I would love to do different things, but it makes me a better leader and visionary to learn how to integrate within my business.
Yes. It will make your company successful, and the opposite is also true. If you don't learn it, there is a high likelihood that you will fail.
Thank you. Be part of the 95% of businesses that fail in their first 4 years.
You won't.
I will not. The odds are pretty high. I was thinking about that last night. I was like, I choose to take the harder route. Like, even in my social media challenge, I have a feeling that true branding will be evaluated at $1 million before Biani, but Biani feels more, it'll have a larger scale of impact in the niche that I want, and it'll just take longer.
True branding is a linear scale product.
Correct.
Bionic could be an exceptional scale product. I got a couple of comments. But by the way, we actually got to end this stream in a few minutes because I'm actually late for another call that I got a reminder of. And in my bad for being late.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that we partly sum it up and partly, and I'm really I apologize here because Ice and I intended to go live at 9 p.m. Pacific, and then we pushed it for my sake. So sorry about that. We'll get better in the future. But since you took notes, and by the way, there are, like, we got Dana on the call, we got Christian on the call, we got Varsha on the call, we got Jesse. Like, there's some people listening into this. Ice, no pressure. So now I'm going to say it like this. You took notes, right?
Yes.
What's the key takeaways from this live mentorship that got a little stressed? Normally we do a full hour. Got a little stressed. We're only at half an hour, so we would keep going, and the next 30 minutes I would spend making sure you really understood it and that you take it with you and you take action. But like, what's 1 to 3 key takeaways here that you want the people that are listening in to take with them, and and pick one the one thing you're gonna do differently after this call?
Great questions. I think the top 3 takeaways in discussing efficiency as a visionary is sometimes it's better to be hamsters in the wheel. That's how I quoted it. Hamsters.
Manual work
versus focusing so much time and attention to setting up systems and processes that might not even be repeated processes yet. And so it's like taking time to think critically before taking action in either regard, whether you're doing the manual process or the setting up the automations. It's also important to understand your value of your time and to spend time critically thinking about that, because the more that you pour into others without questioning how, if it's taking away time from your goals and development, which then takes away time from like the employees I'm supporting or the customers that I'm serving, then it's really not me being selfless giving to the people who are asking for my time. It's almost like um, inverted. So my minutes matter. What gets you to scale faster is no, saying no more than it is saying yes.
Yeah.
And that last part is probably what I'll lean into even more than I'm already doing.
So that's the one thing you will change before we talk the next time. What's the one thing you're going to do now that you think will have the biggest impact on where you're at in your businesses?
Saying no more. I think I've already grown so much since January, even or October, since we met, to say no a lot more. But not sacrificing the potential for great by saying yes to more good stuff. Because
I
saying
think
no
so.
doesn't always mean like it's a bad thing. It might just mean it's a distraction.
Yeah, because every time you say no, you have more time for your goals instead of someone else's goal. But you got to be able to help others as well, but make a conscious effort when you pick one over the other.
Will do.
And next time we're going to talk about how to be more direct without offending people, right?
These ones are fun. The ones that you're choosing to put on live, or that we choose to put on live, because it's the things that I'm less familiar with or least comfortable with. So it's a good
And I
bold.
know you're super uncomfortable about the directness and being more authoritative and standing your ground. So
Mhm.
let's talk about that one. So for people who are listening, like next Thursday, we'll do a 9 a.m. and let's just drill into how to be more authoritative without being emotionally expressive and still gain trust. So how to build more dominance, but without being overpowering. And again, sorry for everyone for just cutting this short. It's just that I have to jump on another call. I'm already late too. I already texted them. And Ice, and I really applaud you for daring to do this in a live session. We had a bunch of comments where people really appreciated it. So we're going to keep doing this, and you're going to get super uncomfortable. But that's okay. Let's just keep doing it. And then others learn from them. And then next time, I shouldn't be rushing in from one meeting to the next one and try to squeeze this in. So my apology.
No,
But
thank you for your time.
and I'm going to say a little last thing. If anyone listened to this and you need a social media manager, Ice True Branding is amazing. And she is pouring so much value and strategy into her business. And she's growing very fast. I'm impressed, super impressed. And this will be a big portion of your $1 million enterprise that you're just getting started on. And then $1 billion. But no, so I think check out True Branding if you need a social media manager and someone that build your strategy and just take care of that entire part for you. And then the other thing is, I want to hear more about Biani, and I think the world do as well. But I know you're coming up on the version that you're going to start sharing with others.
Mm-hmm. More
And then
marketing push in April.
what?
Say it again.
What did you say about Biani?
I said more marketing push in April.
I love it.
Timeline.
And make sure everyone, we should put that up on a banner every time we're here. Every Thursday, we should have Biani. But please follow us if you already haven't followed us on social media. We're going to keep doing these. On Mondays, I do a session with Rosie where we talked about vulnerability last Monday. I think next Monday is a little different time, and Vina Jetty is joining that as well.
Oh.
And then on tomorrow I have a design thinking session with Craig, and where Rosie is the guest, and we're going to talk about how she can scale her coaching business. And it's more about like, how do you actually scale up, which is an extension of what you and I just talked about.
I'm
I
so
think
excited
that's
for you.
9 a.m. 9 a.m.
I'm so excited for you. Your brand is going to scale so much quicker than you think, and so much bigger than you can think right now too.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm excited too, Jada.
Yeah. Awesome, everyone. Thank you. I gotta
Thank
go.
you.
I'm so
Go
now
ahead.
I got my 10 minutes grace, but we'll do this next week more in a more rehearsed way, or more not rehearsed, but in a more to the point way.
Yeah. Good. Get
Thank
to
you,
your.
everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you, Tommy.